Welcome to the show, everybody. It's Chris Denman. We are live, and it's virtual happy hour time. Our friends from Barkeep join us. We do this each and every Thursday at 4 p.m. Central, so join us. We've got lots of great guests. We do music, all kinds of fun. We also cheers, everybody. We'll have some cocktails today. Our friend Jim O'Hare, you know him as Jerry on Parks and Rec, or Gary, or Larry, or several others, will be joining us for some conversation. And Mark Rose, you know him from Spitalfield. He's been on the show before. Very, very talented musician out of Chicago, and he's got some years of stories to share. But just as we do each and every week, let's get the fellows from Barkeep on. My guy, Pat Gioia, who knows what he has planned for us today. His beard is full. I'm sure his content is more full. He always brings heat. Matt Longaville, proprietor, STL Barkeep, Barkeep US, all those good things. You always bring the sunshine and happiness. Matt, how are you, sir?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. You've been canning drinks, and you've been running all over St. Louis. How is entrepreneur life in week 740 of quarantine for you, sir?
It's all right. We're making it.
That's not very promising.
It's going to be time to change up again here in 2 weeks when we start to slowly open up. So we've shifted concepts to cocktail delivery service. You can still order those for this weekend, silverliningcocktails.com. But then, we're looking forward to maybe some face-to-face interaction, some smaller gatherings here in a couple weeks. So we're going to have to discuss our policies and procedures and how to keep ourselves and our clients safe. But hope to start making cocktails for people and having some face-to-face interactions here. 6 feet, though.
6 feet, of course. What's that say about me that whenever like real life things come up, I'm always like, oh, he said policies and procedures. That's not a thing. Like, what's wrong with me? Pat Gioia, you sir, you've been surviving the tiger painting lives on another day, another week, and it's impressive still. I know we've got some drinking, some drinks to get to. Anything new in your life? How's the new motorcycle treating you? Let's update the people. Oh. Yeah.
Man.
There he is.
Yeah.
Pat, we got you. We missed that first part.
Was I out? Okay.
Man, I'll tell you what, it's been a busy week here, and if there's a few technical hiccups today, Matt, the producer, is not to blame. So shout out to Matt for working hard under pressure. Pat, back to your life. Tell me what you've been doing.
Motorcycle's going good. Got a half of it pulled apart and found like 4 missing parts. So that was a fun event. And outside of that, slowly, losing my mind, sitting at home, and It seems that I at least I have an outlet. There's these cocktails, these little videos. They give me a place to let my crazy float.
I don't remember requesting crazy, but you keep bringing it each and every week, and I'm not going to.
I got to get it out somewhere.
Why not on a podcast?
Yeah.
We should get you a sidecar for this motorcycle, so you could be doing the cocktail delivery on your motorcycle, and we could put somebody in the sidecar too, and that's just how they're delivered.
Pat,
can I have a dog?
Okay, I was gonna say
dog in a sidecar.
Top 3 sidecar riders, go.
Ooh, top 3. Okay, dog definitely high on the list.
Any dog, or is it a particular dog?
I mean, I like Siberian Huskies. They're high on my list. It doesn't have to be a particular dog, but I even like a pug with goggles would probably be awesome.
Nice. Okay, I'm in.
Yeah. Let's see here.
You're hurting Sawyer's feelings right now, Pat.
What's that? I'm hurting Sawyer's feelings?
Hurting Sawyer's feelings.
Okay, Sawyer can come too. Sawyer's a great dog. Let's see here. If I had an option for people, my mom would probably be a really freaking good hoot.
Good answer.
She must be tuned in. She's a lunatic. She would fully admit it. I'm not saying anything that you wouldn't hear. And then let's see here. Last one. I feel like I should pick like a celebrity or something like that, but
maybe Jim O'Hare.
Yeah, Jim O'Hare would be great in the sidecar.
Or Mark Rose. Mark Rose could play guitar while you were driving up there. Brett Hull would work as well. You'd have to make some pit stops, but he would be he'd be good.
I don't know how many pit stops. I mean, it's one of those. As long as you keep the beer supplied, I'm sure he'd, bottle things up, if you will, along the ride.
Sure.
You know.
Okay. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. You can show us some love at We Are Live Radio on all social media, and Barkeep is all over social media. We've tagged them and everything. Be sure to like them, support all the stuff we're doing. It's Give STL Day through our partner by Jack. We've got shirts available, $20. They say support all bartenders, and you can actually donate when you purchase that. Every bit of that money goes to the USBG. So it's Give STL Day. We got great bartenders like Pat here in St. Louis, and we're trying to support some people through that. So please go to buyjack.com/weareliveradio and make it happen. Guys, we do have drinks to get to, but let's say hi to producer Matt real quick. Matt, how are you, sir? What's happening? You doing okay back in the control room?
I'm doing well. Here I am.
Anybody acting up in the comments that you need to tell us about?
Let me check the comments. Let's see here.
And thank you guys for sharing the stream. We like keeping people busy and staying with this. So anytime you share that and let other people know about it, invite your friends. Thank you for doing so.
Shout out to Stephen Benny, who's here for the beer.
Tom Brown says, "Damn it, Gary."
And then Catherine Kren over on YouTube says, Gergich? That might be German or something. I'm
Gergich.
not sure.
Yeah,
Gergich.
Jerry Gergich. That's Jim's character. Perfect. All right, well, let's get to our first cocktail. I'm not sure who we have up. Matt, you want to call it out? Who we seeing first?
Oh, we got to see Pat, right?
Yeah,
Did all
Pat.
the work this week?
Damn it.
Do you really want to start with this? All right, let's do it.
Oh, yeah. For
Damage
sure.
at the top of the lineup. Here's our first cocktail. Do you want to give it a quick preview, Pat?
It's a variation of an old-fashioned and slightly high level of lunacy is probably the best way I can put it.
There it is. There's your cocktail description. Put that in St. Louis Magazine. Let's see the first video.
Everyone, welcome back to Quarantine Cocktails. I'm Pat with STL Barkeep. Today I've got a pretty cool little cocktail today. It's based off of a real simple one, but first I want to introduce you to my new friend I made here recently. We've all been stuck in the house, and it's one of those things where meeting new people, even seeing old friends has been really tough, but I've managed to make a new friend while I've been stuck here alone. And I want to introduce you to him, so just to let you know, I'm wearing the mask. It's part of the, trying to help not spread things to other people. But here's my buddy. I want to introduce you to him. It is Sock Puppet Paulie. Hey, Pat. How's it going, Paulie? Oh, not so bad. Well, Paulie, what do you want to do today? I want to make some drinks. Well, perfect, man. We're going to make ourselves a old-fashioned style cocktail today with an IPA syrup. Really? How do you make an IPA syrup? Well, let me tell you, Paulie. So I wrote it down here so you guys can take a look while I'm doing the rest of the video. But we've got a can of an IPA, kind of your choice there. I went with kind of a pretty heavily hopped one from Four Hands Brewing called the Incarnation. We've got half a grapefruit, squoze that in there with the beer. And then we put in about 6 ounces of sugar by volume. We heat that up and we kind of stir it all together. And once it kind of becomes clear, you've made your syrup. So we've got an IPA syrup. So we ended up making a little more than I wanted to, but we got some here. Wow, that looks pretty tasty. It is pretty tasty, buddy. You can do all sorts of things with beer syrups. You can use stout syrups and things like that too. I didn't know that. Well, now you do, man. So, first things first, we're gonna go ahead and put our whiskey in the glass. What kind of whiskey are you using, Pat? Well, thanks for asking. I'm using the Basil Hayden Caribbean Reserve Rye today. It's kind of sweet and vanilla-y, and it goes really well against the nice bitter notes of the IPA. Good choice, Pat. It's looking great already. Man, I really like your style. Appreciate you today, buddy. So, after that, we're going to put in that IPA syrup I just described to you. Oh, yeah, buddy. Just pour it right in there. It looks so tasty and delicious. It does look tasty and delicious, and thank you again for noticing. I do what I can, buddy. You just need a little support and a little help. So, after that, we put in a couple dashes of Peychaud's bitters and a couple of dashes of orange bitters. What kind of bitters were those? Peychaud's, buddy. So the first one, we've got the Peychaud's aromatic cocktail bitters, pretty popular with Sazeracs. And then I went ahead and used the Fee Brothers orange bitters as well, which my bottle has kind of seen better days. Wow, it really has. So, from there, we're going to go ahead and drop an ice cube in our mix. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start stirring that up. So I just used the one big cube, but we're going to get that a little bit longer than I normally would with smaller cubes or a lot more ice in there. Why is that, Pat? Well, you know, we want to make sure the cocktail's diluted properly, buddy. And I want to, you know, have that little bit of water to help open up the flavors. I didn't know that. I was wondering why you guys always stir things on ice and everything. Yeah, you know, that's exactly why, man. So, can I help? You know what, Paulie? Go ahead. Get in there, buddy. You know, Paulie, you're a beginner. I'll give you that. You're getting there, though. So, we'll pull that out. Did I do okay? You did great, buddy. I appreciate all the help. All right, so from there, we've pretty much got our cocktail made. So now I'm going to drop cube into our rocks glass. I'm going to get our strainer. Why do you want to strain it? Well, we don't want the ice in there, buddy. Oh, that makes sense. All right, so we'll pour that on ice now. A little on the cutting board, because, you know, why not? So from there, I go ahead, grab a cherry out of here, and we'll go ahead and use the other half of the grapefruit from the syrup. Dazzle it up a little bit there. All right. So do you want to try it, bud? Yeah, why not? Wow, that's delicious. Well, I'm going to try it here too, okay? Is that all right if I pull my mask down and do it? Well, I am kind of a sock, so go right at it, buddy. Appreciate you saying so, Paulie. Well, I'm going to put this back up if you don't mind, all right? Doesn't matter to me at all. All right, so we have our cocktail here in front of us now. Just a little dazzle, razzle, you know, nothing too crazy. But it's a spin on an old fashioned. If you've had a few of those and you're kind of just wanting to try something different, but you really like whiskey, so I'll bring it up with us. Paul, you want to come with? Oh, I'll come with you, buddy. Well, let's come on up. So everybody, here's what we're working with. We got our cocktail. Paulie, hi, buddy. And there we are. A little sip more for you. Oh, yeah, good. Good on you, buddy. That's really tasty, Pat. Thanks, man. Well, everybody, once again, have a great day. Thanks for having time with us. And thanks for meeting Paulie. He's been a good pal of mine for a little while now. And be safe out there. Thank you. Love you.
Wow. Pat Joya, everybody. Are you proud of? Oh, and look, a surprise appearance. Wow. So you've been part
Paulie,
of this.
you want a job?
Yeah. Do you want to host this show, Paulie? I can't show my face on here ever again. Sinbad has been in this studio, and you besmirch this show's good name with a sock puppet. We had Jackie Joyner Kersey, and you bring a sock puppet onto this show? Pat, that was fantastic. Great work.
I promised a sock puppet last week. I wanted to be a hair more theatric, but I've actually had the opportunity to work a bit this week, so it turns out just me talking to myself worked out great.
Okay, well, that's a very relative term, but we're going to let you have it. Matt, will your video later on in the show before we see Mark Rose, will that be anywhere near as theatrical?
Definitely not.
Okay, great. As much fun as it is hanging out with the Barkeep guys. Cheers, by the way. Pat and Sock Puppet, great work. Cheers. We're going to talk to our first guest. I believe he's queued up. If I can get a thumbs up, we'll bring Jim in. We'll talk to Jim in just a minute. Real quick, remind everybody, Matt, Silver Lining Cocktails, what's the website? How do people order the canned cocktails for delivery?
silverliningcocktails.com. There's the actual Silver Lining series is available to order until the end of the night tonight. That's a set of 4 canned cocktails that we'll deliver to you tomorrow. And then there's also batch cocktails now in the store, which are you get 6 cocktails for $36. They come in glass containers with instructions on how to serve them. We'll show you one of those in the video later, and those are going to be delivered on Saturday. If you order both Silver Lining and the batch, you'll go ahead and get it a day early. You'll get them on Friday.
Nice work. I'm excited to dive more into the cocktail scene with you guys, but we're going to go ahead and bring on our guest. You've seen him on many different things, but Parks and Recreation might be, it's the real deal himself, Jim, we talked about this. You were kind of, I believe you're at like 3 years. So is this quarantine's been rough on you, huh, man? Jim,
Oh
are you,
shit! I'm
are you
hearing
there?
voices. Hello. I'm
Jim?
hearing voice. Oh
Jim,
fuck
it's
the
your
voice.
buddy Chris. It's
Chris?
Oh, man.
Oh god.
Jim,
Oh god, Chris.
we tested this
Chris.
earlier. You promised you wouldn't drink. This is
10 years sober today.
I don't think that's how it works, Jim. Wow. This is tough, man. You just did the reunion and seemed like things were
What
going
reunion?
okay
What?
for the radio.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
Jim.
I'm back. You guys, I was doing a drunk bit. Wasn't that something? Yeah.
Hey,
So I just want to clear
cheers.
something up. So I've done Kimmel, I've done Seth Meyers, I've done Jimmy Fallon, and now I'm working with a hand puppet. So I like the trajectory of my career. I like what's happening. I really enjoy it.
You know what? I congratulate you on your many successes. And you started at a radio station, and it looks like your career ends on a podcast. So there it is.
Exactly. Now, first of all, you guys, I love this whole concept. Virtual cocktail hour is the best. I love a good hand puppet. I have certainly soaked a sock or two in my day. Oh, wait a minute. Anyway, different topic. I'm sorry. What was your question? What did you ask me?
Let's just dive right into the fart attack. If this is the way you're going to go with
Yes,
things,
this
there,
is
Jim.
the way it's going to go. Yes.
Yeah, we should come up with our own wacky FM morning show. We could kind of flesh that out as well.
Yeah.
If you
Get a hold of my people, I'll get right back to you on that.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
You're generous.
I'll be on that. Boom.
Generous guest. Jim O'Hare joining. You guys know him from Parks and Rec. Also very busy in many different facets of life, especially the drinking facet, obviously, during this COVID quarantine. You're in Los Angeles. All kidding aside, you look showered. The hair's got a nice flow. You look to be handling things quite well. And then again, too, with this cherry on top of your life happening right now, I think that we're heading in the right direction. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what? You know the episode of Seinfeld where Elaine decides if somebody is sponge worthy, whether she'll screw them. I base everything at, are people shower worthy?
Yes.
And I'll have you know, you made it. I showered.
You're too good to me.
Shower.
Thank you.
Yes, I am good to you. Yeah. So I did shower. It's been I will officially be trapped as the 12th of this month. It'll be 2 months that I've been trapped. And by that, I mean what I'm supposed to do.
Right. We're doing it too. So are you really hunkering down? I mean, did the film crew, did they send things to you? Like your setup looks great, by the way. We have a lot of different guests on. Oh. You must be a real tech expert, because this is a clear picture and great sound. So Jim O'Hare, tech guy, is right up your alley.
Dude, I am the worst tech guy in the whole world. I just happened to have the other day. This is going to sound gross, but I was in the pool looking at my computer, and it started going. It started making this noise. Cut to the chase, it died on me. It was gone. So I think the only reason it's good is it's a brand new Mac, and I think it's clean. The screen isn't a mess. I think that's the only reason it looks good.
So
the gift of this face. I mean, I brought the goods. Yes.
Do you normally masturbate in the pool? Like that's.
Oh,
I mean, that's okay.
Oh my God. So many pregnancies when people leave my house, and now they don't know it, but those babies come out with hair in their back and we know it's mine.
I think Vince Vaughn did a movie like that or something. I can't remember the exact premise.
With Chris Pratt.
Oh, with Chris Pratt.
That's right, the boy. Yes.
Congrats to your boy, and congrats to all of you for
it's bad to masturbate in the pool. What are we getting at here?
I don't know why you have to be defensive. I thought it was a perfectly normal question. I've participated.
No, it is, but you made it almost sound like I was doing something wrong, and that's very offensive.
Listen, Jim, we've known each other many years.
The gym, the grocery store. If you get the urge, come on.
Do your thing, buddy.
Yeah. I got a mask on. No one knows who I am anymore.
You wear your mask. That's it. You have your. Do you have to tighten it up to get there?
Well, I'll just tighten it up, do my job, do what I got to do, and get the hell out of there.
Yes.
By the time the cops get there, no one knows. They have no idea who I am.
And when he says his pool, it's 3 houses down, and he's been asked to leave several times.
Oh yeah, I don't have a pool, but my neighbors do.
Yes. Let's talk about this. A successful run. A quick mention of a radio career. I found you to be extremely entertaining. Obviously, in the acting realm and on the series Parks and Recreation, you have several other credits to your name. You've done a lot of work in your day, but I did find this super interesting. A guy that's been really nice to us, Adam Carolla. You filled in after being a guest. It was just very entertaining, and I don't know if this is just my bias coming through. Sometimes actors can't work with that. I'm sure you have a good improvisational background, but you did a great job podcast hosting. And I know it probably sounds weird with all the credits to your name, but I wanted to say that because it always made me want to just actually have a conversation with you, not just be like, hey, hit me on the press junket. Let's talk about the new Parks and Rec thing. But you seem like a super interesting guy, and I think that's because you probably had your face kicked in a few times coming up the ranks.
Yeah, thanks. I tell you, that was a very incredibly nerve-wracking time because my publicist calls and he goes, dude, they want you to fill in for Adam Carolla. I'm like, what? Like Carolla? Because there are a lot of podcasts out there, but it's Adam Carolla's podcast. And he's a great guy. I did his movie. So we have a good relationship. I had guested a couple of times on the show, so it was all great. But that's a different beast. Now, I do have an improv background. I trained at Second City. I was in a comedy group for many years. So I don't know. I tend to, that tends to be a strong point, I guess, here and there. It's helped me out. But then you get there and you got Bald Brian. He's got your back. I mean, they took good care of me. And we did have a lot of fun. And apparently it went well. So I was happy about that. But it's a different beast because I'm in a world where people hand me a script. I learn it. I bring whatever I bring to it, and they like it or not, and they direct me and they do this. This is free flow. This is just whatever's hitting this pathetic noggin of mine. And the other thing is people who don't know me because of what they've seen me play on television, Jerry Gergich, and a lot of when you're with this. Kind of cherubic Irish face, people think you're like the sweetest man in the whole world. Well, I generally go blue. Like if something can go dirty, I'm probably going to go that route. It's just what I find funny. And so there was a lot of people like, holy shit, did he really just like say that? But yeah, because Jim O'Heir, he goes blue. Yeah. I did a talk at some college in, where the hell was I? In Boston. I forget which college, but in this, it's an hour-long Q&A, and afterwards they can come up for pictures. And this one girl comes up, and she looked distraught, and I said, "Is everything okay?" And she said, "You were much dirtier than I expected," and I really crushed her. Like I had broken her heart, and I felt terrible. But then I'm like, well. I mean, I can't feel too bad. That's a character from television that you love, and I love that you love him. I love that character too. If only I could be such a good human being as that character that they wrote. But I broke that girl's heart. Well, so then I slapped her and I said, "Get over it, bitch."
Classic Jim O'Heir. Cut the feed. Cut the feed. Let's get rid of him. Let's get this. We can't do this. The success of the show. I mean, I'm sure you've answered a question or a line of questions similar to this. There, no way in hell. Well, maybe because you had folks from The Office coming over. I'm sure you were excited when you landed the role, and then it felt like as things moved on, all the characters developed, and everybody got their piece of the pie. As far as the success of the show, we'll keep rolling down this. Were you at all taken aback by the longevity of Parks and Recreation, and when did you think it would end? Like starting at the beginning, day one, somebody's got a gun to your head and they say, you have to bet on when this show ends. How long do you think it would have lasted?
A couple just quick moments to get to that point. Number one, when I auditioned for Ron Swanson because Jerry didn't exist. So they were bringing everybody in with reading the Ron Swanson role, which, the thought of anybody other than Nick Offerman, and he was always their guy, as he should have been. I mean, that's the perfect Ron Swanson. So apparently they liked something in the room, and then they brought me back for this because now they have to fill the office. They got their main characters. But my agents actually said, you need to think about this. You might not want to do it because they're being very honest with us. And they're saying, we don't know what's going to happen to you. Maybe nothing. We don't know. We don't know. And we have these 6 main characters we have to service. So, but in my brain, because I'd been working a lot at that point, and she's like, you don't want to feel like an extra. And I said, I know, but look what happened to those people on The Office.
Mm-hmm.
Your Kevins and your Phyllis and your Stanleys, and your Oscars. To me, it was a no-brainer. So it starts. And Retta and I, who played Donna on the show, both of us, as well as Chris Pratt, we were not regulars at first. We were just guesting every week because they did not know what was going to happen. And apparently one of the producers said to the other one, put O'Hara to desk, it'll work out. And it did. So, but as far as the longevity, to this day, I'm blown away by this, because what a lot of people don't understand, because they think, oh, you guys were such a big hit. In certain respects, we won a Peabody Award. Time Magazine called us the show of the decade or some wonderful thing, or the year, whatever they did, some wonderful stuff. We were critics' choices all over. But where we weren't good are the ratings. And ultimately, that's what it all comes down to. And so, dude, every year we sweated it out. Are we coming back? Are we coming back? Are we coming back? And we never knew. And then Amy found out that season 4, the 2 big head honchos from NBC got on a plane in New York heading back to LA. In the middle of that flight, we were canceled. They pulled us off the schedule. By the end of the flight, we were back on. So it's also tenuous, how this whole business even works. But I can tell you, we are more popular now than when we did it, which is mind-boggling. But, Netflix and Hulu, and I turn on the TV, we're on a couple of stations during the day. It really... And here, I'm going to say something that's going to be so gross, and it's very Jerry-like, but I'm going to say it. So get ready everyone can put vomit emojis up. I think the reason the show has lasted as long as it has, as far as in people's hearts and minds, is because there was so much love off camera, and I think it showed on camera. I think you couldn't we couldn't separate what was happening off camera, which was us enjoying each other and being given amazing scripts week after week and getting to play together every day. So, I know that's corny and all that kind of stuff, but I really believe that's why the show still has the legs that it has. So never did I think it would go as long as it has. Amy's wish from the beginning, she had said, and never thinking it would happen, because I told you every year we were on the bubble. She said, I'd love to get 7 seasons. And we got them. We got all 7. And then Amy and Mike Schur, NBC let them make the decision. What do you guys want to do? Do you want to continue? Do you want to wrap it up? And Amy and Mike, after a lot of back and forth, decided, let's go out without people saying, oh, is that thing still on? Because some shows go too long.
Sure.
They just do. And so it ended right when Amy wanted it to end. And we were all on board because she was our fearless leader from day one. And if there's one thing you trust, it's your fearless leader. And she's the best.
What a great story.
If I told it, I know it's a great story. Anyway, what's next? Huh? Come on.
I was going to talk about your humble Midwest upbringing or your time in Chicago. Our musical guest, Mark Rose, is based in Chicago. I'm sure there are plenty of things. Real quick, Second City, your time there. Give us a quick look into some of your classmates or fellow performers when you were there. Were you there with anyone that could still polish your shoes? What's going on?
Yeah, well, the thing is, I trained there. I never worked there. Like a lot of people, they'll say, oh, Jim, you're a Second City guy. I'm a Second City trained. I never worked on any of their stages, so I was not worthy of that. I mean, those guys, some of those guys to this day, I look at, like I got to I did a comedy panel with Dave Pisquazy and Michael McCarthy a couple of years ago at the Chicago Film Festival. I could barely speak because to be between the two of them, who in my mind are geniuses, like comic improvisational geniuses, I just certainly didn't feel worthy. But Second City changed everything for me for 2 reasons. One, my first class, first day, and this is many years ago, because I'm almost 35 now.
You're pushing it. You're pushing it.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, my first day, I'll never forget. I got on that stage. It was during class. It was the main stage at Second City where people like Belushi had been and John Candy and amazing people. And I got that first laugh, and something clicked, and I said, "This is," because I was scrambling at that point in my life. What do I want to do? How am I going to earn a living? What's going to happen? it clicked. Now, it didn't click thinking I'd ever make a living off of it, but it clicked that I have to do this. This is going to feed my soul. And it did. So Second City gave me that. And then it gave me my comedy group that changed everything, because we are all still tight to this day, 30 something years later. One of the guys in it wrote a play that brought me to LA, which got me agents and managers. So Second City brought me everybody. It really did.
That's so inspiring to hear, and I think that's something that people need to hear, because the creative pursuit is not always doesn't always end up on network television. But the
dude, and believe me, there were years. Oh my God, it was not like, oh, I found what I like to do, and now I make a lot of money. Oh hell no, hell no. I would be working all day long in Chicago at some job downtown, do theater at night, because that's how you had to do it. And then you'd lose money because no one's paying you. You'd have to help paint the sets and build the sets. No, it's so many actors will say, oh, I'm thinking about going in this. And my immediate thing is, if it's a passion, number one, you have no choice. I think you have to really try to, but I mean a passion where you might be working other jobs. Because the actors who go, well, no, I mean, I can't do anything because I need to be available for auditions and stuff. Well, yeah, but you got to pay your bills. So anyway, but if it's a passion, it's in your gut, you have no choice. And there's an old saying, and this is another corny moment that, it is true though. If you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And I really believe that. And I love what I do. So I moved to LA. I always had to work when I was in Chicago to pay my bills. But once I moved to LA, and believe me, there were some tough years, but in general, I always made enough off of acting that I never had to do anything else. So I haven't had a job since 1994.
That's fantastic. And that lines right up with your 35 years of age too. So
isn't that something how that works?
It's so
and
weird.
Also another reason it was good that I could do that, because it turns out people don't, if you're a waiter, they don't like balls of sweat in their food.
Typically look down upon.
Typically they don't. Yeah. So if people would say, can I have some salt? I would go,
Did you ever cool down and do the? Did you ever get caught standing in the walk-in freezer and people walk in like, "What are you doing in here?" And you're just cooling down,
just living. Yeah, no. I never could have been a waiter. No, it would not have been good. God bless them.
I'm glad you took the path you took. Yes, you are, and we're fortunate to have you today. I don't want to keep you much longer, but I am going to force you to come back and let's do a longer conversation, man. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I don't think you have enough money, but.
I don't think so.
Yeah, how is this working? Venmo, or what are we doing for this? $100,000?
I cut the feed.
Boy, that's what. Oh, as long as they can't hear me. Hey, shut the fuck up! I'm doing a podcast, you assholes.
Where does Jerry Gergich rank all time for you for sitcom? I had a very funny in this. He's a name that you'll see soon, I'm sure, on a national level. He just put a comedy album out. His name's Rafe Williams. He's a very funny comic from here. He texted me and he said, "How'd you get Jim? That's great." And I didn't tell him about our side deal with man. That's gonna be tough when I go to LA to be in that pool with you. But he did mention
it's gonna be tough, my friend. Yes.
He mentioned, he was dead serious. He felt you were your character's one of the most underappreciated sitcom characters of the last 20, 30 years. Do you feel that that Jerry ranks up there?
I don't know. I don't know. First of all, I'm sure a therapist could do years on me. I'm not good with compliments. Thank you. That's very nice. I love Jerry. He's a sweet man. He fumbles, he bumbles. But ultimately, if the world had a lot of more Jerrys in it, it would probably be a sweeter place. But first of all, the fact that I'll read things that people I respect will call Parks and Recreation one of the greatest sitcoms ever. That blows my mind, because I'm a TV guy. I was raised on television. I love television. There's certain shows I obsess over. So to think that I had a small part in a show that might be that for other people still blows my mind. So I don't know. Thank you, though. It's very nice. I'm supposed to say when I get a compliment, thank you. So thank you.
Here, let me help you. I just want to.
Thank you.
I want to remind you, it was texted to me. I don't personally feel that, so we don't have to have some sort of a emotional connection.
I'm so glad, because where I rank you in my life.
Yeah, that'd be we're on the same page.
We're on the same page. No, I think that's healthier.
It really is healthier. Hey, you know what? Our friends at St. Louis Counseling, we've got a great counseling place that we work with here in St. Louis. It's Give STL Day. Show them some love, people. And if you donate, donate in Jim O'Hare's name, because he maybe we could donate some.
Jim O'Hare. He needs a lot of work.
He does. He certainly does. Jim, I'm going to let you get out of here, man. You've got a lot of work to do around the house, I'm sure.
Wait, I have to put on pause once I have to turn my mic off. I said, shut up. Anyway, I got it back on now.
Okay.
I'm kidding. I'm here alone. For people
Jim.
going, he's crazy. Who is he talking to?
You want me to do one of those clickbait headlines that say that will summarize this, where like Parks and Rec star says he is for domestic violence against women and screams at people in his home while masturbating in his neighbor's pool.
And drinking excessively. Yeah, go for it. Whatever works.
Here, let's try and do the, let's do this. Or am I right? Nope. There you go.
Are we going to?
Cheers.
Did
Cheers.
we do that?
Yep.
Boom. There we go. Yeah. Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It is 9 a.m. in Los Angeles, if you guys are paying attention. So,
well, I haven't been to bed in 2 days, so there's no rules.
Classic Jim O'Hare.
That is classic O'Hare, I'll tell you that. Yeah.
O'Are will get you. Jim,
okay, but on a serious note, this is really fun, you guys. I know I've been obnoxious probably, but it's really been a lot of fun.
You're a blast. And how can we support? I've blasted out the social media. You guys follow him. Jim, I know you're continuing TV projects. Is there anything that we can send people to keep supporting you?
I just, the show that I've been doing lately just wrapped Tuesday night, our end of the season, called Bless This Mess. Dax Shepard, Lake Bell, a whole bunch of great people. Pam Grier.
Can you give Lake my number?
Yeah, she talks about you all the time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mostly through her attorney, if you know what I mean.
We have a playful back and forth.
Oh, it's playful. Yeah. You'll be hearing from her soon, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Yeah. No, she's awesome. You want to talk about a workhorse?
I'm sure.
God bless her. She's a mom. She's a producer. She's an actress, and she does it all, and she nails it.
Yeah. She's been doing high quality work for a while now. So
good
awesome
stuff. Good folk.
Well, you're a good folk yourself. Come back sometime. We'll talk some more. Jim, honestly, thank you so much. Your work's great, and what a pleasure to have you. Thank you for coming on.
This was my pleasure. And you guys, I'm loving this whole show. I truly love the puppet. I really do.
He's going to do it again now. I don't know.
Have a good one.
Take care. Jim O'Hare. Take care, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Wow. Your puppet got praised by the great Jim O'Hare. Pat, congratulations.
Super happy about it.
Again, follow Jim. We've posted all his social links. We still have Mark Rose left to play some music. Let's throw to our next cocktail video. Get that going, and then we'll have Mark Rose play some tunes, chat it up. Everybody that's tuning in, thank you. That was a great interview. So much fun with Jim. Enjoy our next cocktail from Barkeep.
What's up, everybody? So I'm going to demonstrate our strawberry hibiscus gimlet. You can purchase this cocktail over at our online store, and we'll deliver it to your house on Saturday. It's $36. You get a batch of 6 cocktails. All you'll have to do is pour them over ice when you get them. So we're going to start with our cheapest ingredient first. We're going to use some lime juice. We're going to do just a half ounce of lime juice. We've got a strawberry syrup. We'll do 3/4 ounces of that strawberry syrup. I'm going to do 1 big dash of these Bitterman's Burlesque bitters. And then I infused this effing vodka for about 24 hours with some hibiscus flowers. It turned this nice purple, as you can see. We're going to do 1.5 ounces of that hibiscus infused effin. I'm going to throw some ice cubes in here. We're going to go ahead and shake this up. And then since it's starting to get hot outside, I'm going to leave a little bit of the ice chunks just floating in here. Didn't use a fine strainer today, just did it the old-fashioned way. And then for garnish, just gonna do a nice healthy lemon peel, brighten it up, express those oils on the top. I'm just gonna lay it in the glass like so. Order these, silverliningcocktails.com. We'll bring them to your house on Saturday.
Wow, delivery, and they look that pretty when you're pouring them out. Nice work, Matt. We jumped right into the video. Do you want to give people a quick recap of what was in there? That was awesome.
So that's a twist on a classic gimlet with hibiscus-infused vodka, strawberry syrup, some lime juice. The burlesque bitters is like black pepper and hibiscus also. And then, yeah, so we're going to have those. We have them for sale already. You can get them delivered on Saturday, and all you'll have to do is open them up, pour them over ice, or if you want to pour them in a nice cocktail glass like that. And then we're even going to have some garnishes included, trying to get some pretty edible flowers from one of the farms we work with here. Hopefully those will be delivered tomorrow and then be with everybody's cocktails on Saturday.
That's exciting. I like that a lot. And it's not just because Pat turned me on to the world of flower cocktails, but way to go, guys. That's a very pleasant offering that you're putting out for the good people of St. Louis. We got some music to get to. You just mentioned how people can order. You can get the delivery stuff. I just want to remind people, again, huge thanks to St. Louis Counseling for working with us. They do mental health hangout every Thursday. It's a mental health panel, and you can still give to them today for Give STL Day. Great partners of ours, and love working with them. They do great work here in the community. You guys want to hear some tunes? What do you think, huh? Close out the show with Mark Rose. Joining us now, live on We Are Live's Virtual Happy Hour with STL Barkeep. Friend of the show, you knew him from Spitalfield. His name is Mark Rose, jumping on. Mark, what's up, man? Look at that hair.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
I'm a lot better now. Did you get to tune in for Jim O'Hare?
I did. That was really great. That was great. What a fun interview.
He's a character, man. I really appreciated talking to him. I know you're a fan of comedy and just good things, so I was happy that you were on the horn too.
Yeah, and I loved hearing about training at Second City and all that. Like that's so cool. Like I noticed that he went to Loyola, and I don't know. I love the Chicago connection.
Absolutely. Right down the street. Are you thinking, you're a huge Bears fan, is the NFL going to come back normal?
Well, not normal, but yes, it will come back. I mean, yeah, I am a huge Bears fan. That's true.
I'm curious if they're gonna have any kind of a modified thing. Those people want every penny, and the NFL.
Oh,
so
yeah.
bad. So I'm curious to see what's happening. Mark, real quick, obviously I've been a fan since the Spitalfield days. You're a solo artist. You stay super busy. You would normally be on tour right now. I know we're going to hear some songs from you, but what have you been up to? And then what's the best way? Let's get people in on this to listen to you, to support you. I know you stay very busy, pandemic or not.
Yeah. Well, for starters, thanks for having me on the virtual happy hour. This is really cool. It's a great setup. I messaged Barkeep and asked if they would airdrop me a cocktail. It has not arrived yet. It supposedly is coming, so it's not arrived yet. So I'm stuck having Tang, or whatever I've got here. But yeah, no, I was supposed to be out on the road. I mean, like so many other musicians, I'm like figuring out how to weather this. This whole thing is surreal. And I've been trying to keep busy and keep focused on the things that I can control, which is creating, doing a lot of writing, the platform, the custom song platform that, I co-founded, that I run, Downright. It's been really cool to see artists getting support through that platform, and house projects and whatever else, trying to get outside for, at least an hour every day. I mean, remind myself that I'm alive and that the sun still shows up.
It exists in Chicago. Downright, let's tell people about that. It's a really unique platform.
Yeah, Downright. So that's WRITE. Downright is a website where you can go and commission a songwriter to create an original recording for you, and you like provide the backing story and the inspiration, and yeah, directly support that artist, but also help keep that artist creative and writing songs they otherwise would not have written. So the community is growing. There's close to just over 400 artists on the platform right now, and a couple thousand unique songs have been created through it. So you can go check it out. You can browse artists. I'm on there if you want to hire me.
To make maybe we'll get like a quarantine anthem for some folks. I think that people should hit that up.
We've actually had quarantine anthems written. It's happened.
I'm sure.
It's one of the people need something to help get them through.
To connect it. Well, cool. Well, I don't want to hold you back. You're here to play some tasty licks, sir. What do you have on deck for us, man?
Yeah. Okay. So throughout this shutdown, I've been kind of trying to figure out how I wanted to do some live stream performances. And after having done my first one last month, I decided I wanted to do a small series of shows in May, each of which would have a different unique theme. So next Thursday on my Facebook page, which it's just Mark Rose, you can find it at Facebook, Mark Rose Music. I'm going to be doing an all covers set, but it's specifically an all 90s cover set. And the reason I chose that is because it was in the 90s that I first really felt a deep connection to music and wanted to start a band, and all these artists that inspired me to pick up a guitar and to learn how to play music and to want to be in a band. So I figured I'd like to give some of those songs my own interpretation, my own arrangement and spin. So the first song I want to play is a Stone Temple Pilots song, R.I.P. Scott Weiland.
Look at this. Look at Mark Rose getting down on some Stone Temple Pilots. Take it away, buddy.
You got it. This one's Big Empty. So I could hear a little better. Driving faster in my car, falling farther from just what we are. Smoke a cigarette and lie some more. These conversations kill. Falling faster in my car. Time to take her home. Her dizzy head is conscience laden. Time to take her out. It leaves today. No conversation. Time to take her home. Her dizzy head is conscience laden. Time to wait too long. To wait too long. To wait too long. Too much walking, shoes worn thin. Too much tripping and my soul's worn thin. Time to catch her eye, it leaves today. Her name is what it means. Too much walking, soul's worn thin. And time to take her home. Her dizzy head is conscience laden. Time to catch her eye, it leaves today. No conversation. Time to take her home. Her dizzy head is conscience laden. Time to wait too long. To wait too long. To wait too long. These conversations kill. These conversations kill. These conversations kill. Time to take her home. Her dizzy head is conscience laden. Time to catch her eye. At least today, no conversation. Time to take her home. Her dizzy head is conscience laden. Time to wait too long. To wait too long. To wait too long. These conversations kill. These conversations kill. These conversations kill.
Great work, sir. Mark Rose covering some Stone Temple Pilots. Again, you can definitely check out Mark Rose's music page. He's doing a cover set, and that's next week. Which day, Mark? Sorry.
Yeah, that's on Thursday at 6:30 Central. I'll be live for doing all 90s songs. So Stone Temple Pilots is in there. There's a lot of good stuff in there.
So you were signed to what turned into a bigger label in your teenage years, correct?
Well, are you talking about Spitalfield signing to Victory?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I was 19. So yeah, the end of my teenage years.
That's just absurd to think about. But I guess once you kind of got on the record label tour route, did you run into any of your heroes playing festivals or out and about? Who was the first big band that you kind of were like, us kids are out here on the road and running into these kind of people? Who was that first band that kind of took you back to be like, oh, shoot, they just walked by and we're playing the same festival or even the same place beforehand?
Yeah, well, there was a variety of different types of tours we were doing, and, all different levels, from when we were like headlining, like, small clubs in church basements and stuff like that, and then like getting to support larger artists on some bigger clubs and theaters and stuff like that. And, like the festival circuit is where it got kind of real wild, where you'd be like, technically on the same bill with artists you look up to. But there was a tour we did opening for Sugar Cult, and I mean, I was a bit starstruck by them because, especially that album Start Static, like, when I was in college, going to school, like for my first couple of years doing music composition and stuff, that record had come out and it meant a lot to me. And then to get to a point with the band a few years later, where we would be opening for them for, a number of weeks every night. I was, really floored by that. But yeah, just getting to tour with some people you really look up to, and there's all different types of tours, and like
Sure.
It's a long time, and you're on the road, and it's like you're a family out there, so you're gonna have fights and highs and lows and all that. But the types of tours where you would want to watch the other artists perform every night and kind of geek out a little bit or air drum along from like side stage or wherever watching the show every night. Because I love music and I love performing and touring, but I mean it can be tiring and it can be I don't know, you try not to get jaded out there, and then you land a tour where you're like, oh my gosh, I get to watch some bands that I love. Like we did a alternative press tour in spring of 2005, and Minus the Bear was on that tour, and it was like, well, I know what I'm doing every night during their set. I'm watching it.
I can't remember if I told you this the last time you were on. The building that we're in currently, I definitely saw Minus the Bear downstairs when it was a rock club a long time ago. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I've been in the studio with you. What venue was that? I guess I don't remember talking about that.
I think it was called Plush.
Okay.
Here in St. Louis. Yeah, so I think you definitely played it or were part of a tour that came through, because I'm thinking Cursive and Minus the Bear, bands like that were coming through, so that would have fit.
Sure, I mean, I got a lot of St. Louis memories for sure, starting with Creepy Crawl 1 and then Creepy Crawl 2. Mississippi Nights was a great venue.
Fantastic venue. Old Rock House still lives. Those are the same people. That's a great venue too. Shout out to Old Rock House.
So, cool, yeah.
But we're excited to get you back in St. Louis. Let's keep the people fed, if you will. What's your next song, man?
Yeah, cool. This next tune is from a solo record I released a few years ago called The Wild Type. The song is called Georgiana. And if you like it, check it out. It's on all the streaming platforms and whatnot. And my web store, I've got vinyl copies and all that.
People, get out there and get that vinyl. So, all right, let's hear Georgiana.
Yeah,
Thanks, Mark.
George, you bet. Where did you go? Are you still around here or taking to the road? Southbound 65 leading you home. Windows down and country radio. Well, it's 8 hours to Nashville and 4 more to Atlanta. If I skip out at work early, I can meet you, Georgiana, Georgiana. How should I know if you're coming right back off Chicago's just too cold? If you're climbing out windows and knocking on his door. You say you're just friends, but I can't know for sure. Well, it's 8 hours to Nashville and 4 more to Atlanta. If I skip out at work early, I can meet you, Georgiana, Georgiana. If it's only 4 states to bring me back to you, if it's 24 hours round trip, I would do anything, because that's what lovers do. If it's only 4 states to bring me back to you, I'm holding on my breath now, think this out. I'm saving all my worst thoughts, keep them down. If this is how it feels to love, I don't wanna love no more. If this is love to you, if this is love to you. Well, it's 8 hours to Nashville and 4 more to Atlanta. If I skip out at work early, I can meet you, Georgiana, Georgiana. It's only 4 states to bring me back to you. If it's 24 hours round trip, I would do anything, because that's what lovers do. If it's only 4 states to bring me back to you, only 4 states to bring me back to you. Just go on and say, if this is what you're waiting for, just let me get away. I'm opening the door, don't let me stay. If this is what you're waiting for, why can't I get away? I'm opening my eyes, where did you go? Are you still around here or taking to the road? Southbound 65 leading you home. Windows down and country radio.
When is that voice due back in heaven? My gosh, Mark Rose bringing it home with Georgiana. Go get that vinyl on the website, people. That was fantastic, man.
Can I add that quote to my bio? That was a great little press nugget you gave me.
Please do, if we could call this press, Mark. Yes,
yeah.
Please. Yeah, I sign off on that fully. That was great. That was so good. Matt, our producer in here, is very big into music, and he's in here like bouncing around the studio. We're all enjoying it, man. So I hope everybody's enjoying this at home. Shout out to the Chicago folks and Spitalfield fans in the comments. Nice of you all to tune in. Appreciate you checking out Mark here on We Are Live and Virtual Happy Hour. So I am curious when, like today, and nobody, personally, I don't think anybody knows anything. Maybe you know something that I don't know. When do you feel like if you had to say, I'll be back out on the road, when are you going to be comfortable? And then when would people want you back out on the road?
Well, I guess I would say that I expect things to eventually open, but to open very slowly, and with each market, each state kind of having its own rules in place about the capacity that venues are going to be allowed to have and the type of like spacing and distancing that has to happen within that. But I think it's going to get kind of creative and innovative, and these situations kind of force folks to do things differently. And I look forward to that. I look forward to getting back out there. I mean, the hardest thing, about not being on the road, aside from not working, which is, difficult for songwriters, especially that rely on performing, since no one's really buying music anymore. But it's also like, the thing I'm missing most is kind of that human connection, that ability to actually talk to folks before and after performances. And, whether it's a small audience in a small place or, getting the opportunity to perform in front of more people, it's still that human connection that's always been my favorite part. So that's been really challenging. And I mean, I've heard some scary things, as far as like, not until fall of 2021 will we see live music truly be back. But I would anticipate before that there to be live music in a certain way. And I want to be out there as soon as it's safe for me to be out there. And, I'm going to try to do my best to keep listening to doctors and to people who listen to doctors more so than just the rabbit hole that is, everybody on Facebook who's suddenly a doctor or...
It's quite interesting. And I'll point this out right now. Like who you like, but I just want to make it clear this is a Triumph Motorcycles shirt. I don't want anybody missing the I in my shirt. It says Triumph. I don't want anybody thinking else otherwise. That makes sense. I heard the same thing from, and those are from bloodthirsty people that'll do anything for a penny. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I hear from these people that like, yeah, the big boys aren't going to open up concerts until that time. And I was like, oh, that's scary because they will for sure open as soon as they can. So I don't know.
Absolutely. And I suppose it's also a little bit daunting knowing that when things do slowly reopen, so many concerts that had been postponed, looking to reschedule all at the same time as the stuff that would already have been in place on those calendars. So we're going to see probably venues getting real creative with like matinee shows and early shows and late shows. And, suddenly it's going to be like a ton of live music, which of course is a good thing, but it's also kind of like, that's a little intimidating as well, if you think about it that way.
Yeah, it is.
But maybe we'll see some, stadium level artists doing club tours, which could be really cool.
That would be fun. Yeah, you just get to see. You could see your favorites like Rascal Flatts at a place the size of the old Creepy Crawl. So that would be fun.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. So
yeah, obviously, it's where you're going. No, that is a real thing that could happen. You could see people downshift just to get the shows under the belt. So we'll see what happens on that note. Mark, we got one more song for you if you don't mind. What do you have planned to close it out?
Well, I was thinking I would do an old Spitalfield tune to close things out. And related to that, like I mentioned earlier, that I'm doing these different series of live streams this month. So there is a live stream that is an all Spitalfield set. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm trying to do a mixture of songs that folks want to hear, and then maybe some deeper cuts too. Not to say folks don't want to hear them, but some cuts that the band really didn't play very much live, or didn't really see a lot of stage time, if you will. So I think that'll be fun as well. But you can see all that stuff at my Facebook page.
Awesome.
Mark Rose, and then social media, Mr. Mark D. Rose, if you want to follow what I'm up to or whatever.
Make it happen, people. And this one will cheers to our buddy Joey and Bobberino's. We'll close out the old Bobberino's in Farmington where we first
Somebody's got to make a documentary on Bobberino's in Farmington.
I think Joey should. I think he should head that up and dump that gallons and gallons of passion that man brings to everything.
Yeah, I mean, insane, man. We're talking about a pizza place with a back patio that had Fall Out Boy perform there.
Those are the days, 2002 or so in Farmington, Missouri, with Spitalfield and Fall Out Boy, and I think Under Oath came through. A lot of great ones. So it'll live on forever. Shout out to Joey. Mark Rose, ex Spitalfield. He's got a song for us to close it out.
Yeah. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. I'm going to close out with a Spitalfield tune from Remember Right Now. This one's called Those Days You Felt Alive. And now go, take a walk inside your head so that I can see your thoughts. I'll try not to hold back what I'm thinking when you smile for your blue skies, for those times you felt alive, breathing and softly releasing. I won't let you go. Oh, oh. I think I know, but you won't tell me. Got this figured out, and then you go and change it. You go and change it. I think I know, but you won't tell me. Got this figured out, and then you go and change it. You go and change it. Go and change it. Go and change it. And you know, you've got me in your hands. I'll break before I walk. Tonight we broke our plans to play games with our hearts. For your blue skies, for those times you felt alive, breathing and softly releasing. I won't let you go. Oh, oh. Oh, oh, yeah. I think I know, but you won't tell me. Got this figured out, and then you go and change it. You go and change it. I think I know, but you won't tell me. Got this figured out, and then you go and change it. You go and change it. Go and change it. Go and change it. Dun 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 na na na. Dun 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 na na na. 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 I think I know, but you won't tell me. Got this figured out, and then you. I think I know, but you won't tell me. I think I know, but you won't tell me. Got this figured out, and then you go and change it. You go and change it. I think I know, but you won't tell me. Got this figured out, and then you go and change it. You go and change it.
Mark Rose closing it out with a Spitalfield tune. Mark Rose Music on Facebook. You can see him play more of those live on his page. Support Mark, support all the work that he's done. Mark, what a great way to close out the show, man. Thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. That was fantastic.
Oh, thank you for the invite, Chris. It was a lot of fun. Appreciate everybody. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and let's be in touch.
Mark, we'll see you soon, buddy. Thanks, man.
All right.
Mark Rose, former Spitalfield lead singer, rocking it out for us. Please support Mark. He's a guy who works his tail off, and you don't always see that from people who get signed to a major label when they're 19. So I love that about Mark, and I like seeing him succeed. So Pat, Matt, great show today. Wonderful cocktails. We've done it again. What a great episode. Thank you guys so much.
No worries, man.
Thank you, Chris.
Always a blast, guys. Follow us Instagram, Twitter,
Thanks,
all that
Lee.
good stuff. At We Are Live Radio. Our friend Jim O'Hare and Mark Rose. What a blast. We're back next week live at 4 p.m. Central. Get your Barkeep on. Follow them. See all the great stuff. Thanks, everybody.